Hi there everyone, I'd like to show you something I think is quite fun and exciting. It's how to use Grok 3 to create a simple retro game with a theme that you can assign that is optimized to be playable. It just runs inside a browser, and this is based a bit on various ideas I've seen online, but I've really worked with Grok to try and optimize the process and make it as simple as possible. And all we're going to do is to generate some code and paste it into an HTML file. So in this case I've called it game.html, but it's going to be just be a notepad file there, and it's running JavaScript, which is a programming language, but you really don't need to be a programmer to do this for this. But just so you don't think I'm cheating too much about this, I'm going to ask Grok to give me 10 ideas for game themes for a retro game. They should be creative and varied. Each should be 2 or 3 words long. Do not use common existing game titles. Do not output any other text, otherwise it'll give me a load of explanation about what is done. So let's just ask for this. We see the kind of ideas we're getting: Neon Jungle Quest, Cosmic Caravan Clash, Pixel Pirate Plunder, Mystic Mirror Maze, Retro Rocket Rumble, Ghostly Gear Grind, Crystal Cavern Crawl, Time Warp Trials, Shadow Samurai Strike, and Funky Factory Frenzy. It seems to like things beginning with the same letter multiple times. Let's go with Funky Factory Frenzy. I have absolutely no idea what it will create for this one. I'll just copy it to my notes here, and I'll show you. This is the prompt that I have. It's just in a notepad file. In fact, what I will do is I'll copy it over to a new Grok session here. So you can see it's quite long, and what happened is I've been playing around with this, and I've used Grok to optimize the prompt and to anticipate common problems. And you may just about better make out a bit here: game theme, add your theme here. So we'll put in Funky Factory Frenzy, and before I run this, just give an idea. So we're telling the system that it's using HTML and JavaScript. It's just one file, so it can't load in external sprites or anything like that. So there's going to be slightly blocky looking graphics for this. It's got to be smooth. It's got to be keyboard operated, because these retro games didn't use mouse to operate them here. Asked it to consider at least 2 different ideas. You can change these numbers. You can give it a bit more detail if you have an idea in mind as well. And then the requirements: keyboard control is going to be a menu to make it more playable. There's going to be an instruction screen so the player knows what to do. We're going to implement a little game start delay, because otherwise then I find it can start straight away, you haven't got time to prepare, and then the game is over if it's not very well designed. We're going to make the gameplay get more difficult. There's going to be a feedback system and a scoring system, and you can restart the game. Various things to optimize this as well. A reward system to make it more fun. You can ask for more changes as you go through. And the kind of problems that happen are things like the difficulty increases too quickly. There's performance problems as well. And we're asking as well high contrast colors, so you can actually read everything here. Simple shapes. You may think this is too simple, but you can always modify these things when you look at the prompt, and to be creative. Anyway, let's start this running. Before I do, I note as well, you can use the think model here. That will give you better results. But this takes a lot longer to run because it's going through and considering more ideas. And depending on your Grok, if you've got a subscription and what subscription, you're limited in the number of times you can run that. So I'm just using the basic version for this there. But I mean, you'll get slightly better results with think. So it's come up with 2 ideas. We can have conveyor chaos, a worker in a funky factory, and we're trying to do something with conveyor belts. Or rhythm razor, a factory DJ controlling a machine that pumps out beats. Like every factory that we've where they're playing, we have a DJ in the background, but not the way. He's going to go with rhythm razor, which at least to me is a quite an interesting idea. Imagine a DJ booth and a neon lit plant for this. So we're using arrow keys to slide my DJ avatar left and right and pressing space to hit the blocks in sync with an imaginary beat. For this, well, I mean, I will not be very good when I play this, I already know. For this, and here we go, this is the code, this is the HTML that I talked about, generated very quickly, and a little bit of information. Now, you see it's actually quite short, so I will copy that over to this game.html. I will save this file, and I will just open this as well, and there we have it, Funky Factory Frenzy. Now, there's just looking at this, so what we'll do is we'll just make a list of things to change at the side of the screen. So the first one is going to be the title screen. The text does not fit, and this is boring. Improve, hopefully we add a little image or something for that, but putting that aside, that's not too crucial here. Let's look at the options. We've got settings. Again, this doesn't quite fit, so the settings, text overlaps, move game speed up a row, something like that. We'll just tell it what to do. We don't necessarily need to tell it how to do these things. Let's leave this on normal mode for testing purposes here, and then we can go back. Instructions, use the left and right to move DJ, use the space to hit the blocks, and catch the blocks for points. I'm not sure how the timing goes into this, but anyway, left and right keys and the space, right? And well, here's a very interesting looking countdown clock, which hasn't worked very well, but so I'm going to guess these. Right, the game over. Didn't seem to do a great deal, which is the problem apart from this countdown clock. So I lose a life when I hit this green, so maybe the idea is I'm not meant to hit the green. Anyway, let's say this is not the best grade. Countdown clock should just display whole numbers, and then the most important bit is the gameplay is not clear or factory themed. Improve this. Update the instructions as needed. So let's just see what this does. These can take a few goes to get everything how we'd like it for this. So it's so the title text is changing Funky Frenzy on one line, a factory below it, and it's moving the text overlap. It's going to start sort these numbers here. There you go. Factory worker catching gears, grey squares. Align with them and press space to catch and drop when they're near the machine. Okay, we've got some updated code here. We've nearly got some updated code being written and a list of the changes here. So let me copy that. Let me just paste that back in to the game.html file and move back across. I will refresh this. Oh, let's put this in the middle, which is good. Right, and this does look a bit more like a factory as well, or a factory conveyor belt. I don't know why factory is in smaller text, but that's not too crucial either. I will just do one more iteration. Of course, if you really didn't like this, you could just start again. It wouldn't matter too much. And so let's look at the settings. That all looks fine. We'll leave this on normal. Left and right to move the worker, space to catch the gears, drop the gears into the funky fire. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So the countdown is too slow. So let's remember this. So I think the main problem is not completely clear to me how to catch these gears. But you notice one thing that I've got here as well. So I'm just not completely convinced the space is doing anything. So so what did we have? The countdown takes too long. Speed up. Number 2 space does not seem to do anything. Give visual feedback to show what is happening. Also check code. So let's just add these comments for now for our Funky Factory Frenzy game here. Right, and it's going to fix the functionality of the space, I hope. So getting this updated code, I mean, one thing you might notice if you're program for any length of time is there really aren't a great number of lines of code here to make all of this work for that. And so I'd think about this as just being so quick and easy to do that. It'd be outputting a bit more text below to go along with that. It says it's now going to be more responsive. Well, we will reserve judgment until we've seen this run here, but let's refresh. So here's our game. I probably don't need to really check these, but so force of have it right. Right, that seems a bit faster at least. Well, so I'm still not finding the space bar to do anything for that, which is a bit problematic. So what we will do is just type it straight in here. Space doesn't do anything. Is this the correct key mapping? Check or choose another. And anything else that we may wish to change for this. Well, let's do one thing at once. Let's just solve this bug, or get Grok to solve this bug. If we really get stuck, we can use this think mode as well, which will take a bit longer, but will give us very much different ideas. So the standard keyboard key for spacebar is not this blank space, or is space not space, and it had the incorrect code. Well, so that would clearly cause quite a big problem when we're playing this game. So I'm getting a bit more code out here. If anything, this seems a bit longer than it was before, but I'm not directly counting the number of lines of code. So let me paste that back in. I've saved it again. There's a bit more explanation, but I'm not too worried about that. We will refresh over here, and there we go. So space does something now. So I have, right. I'm still not sure what it means about no. But okay, so that was 1100 points. There you go, 900 points. So we're getting the idea. So it's so we've got the score and the high score recorded as well. I'm not really, one thing I don't really understand what this drop gears into the funkifier means. So funkifier, a new name, new word to me. And so can you make Can you add some enhancements to make this more fun to play. And if not, amend the game and instructions. So we'll do this probably as the final iteration of this, but you can keep going as long as you want until you have a game you're happy with. You can give more ideas. I've done things involving numbers, which can display quite well, but sometimes it doesn't have quite the right contrast for this to work with here. And it's adding something about combo multipliers, well, on the HUD, heads-up display for that. Who knows what this means? But let's have one more bit of code. It's nearly there. We've not had any problems like things not fitting within the window size or anything like that, which occasionally happens for the game itself. So we will go back over here. Let's right, space to catch the gears, X to drop into the funky flyer slot and avoid the broken gears. Okay, it's probably easier said than done. We might want to center these numbers as well here. So but I think it I think there's a bit of a problem. The space bar doesn't seem to be doing a great deal, but let me just, and this is why sometimes these systems forget. Okay, so problems, it's easy to actually type it in the notes. Problems, the spacebar no longer seems to work there. Well, let's see what it's doing. So it's supposed to catch a gear when pressed, storing it in held gear if no gear is currently held. So it's come up with hypotheses again and ideas about this as well. So it's going to change the area. So I'm thinking maybe I'm not understanding this new version of the game and I need to catch this on one half of the of this player icon in the factory for that. But let's just notice we continue with these notes and changes. We could suggest ways as well to make this a lot more fun. For this, we'll just have one more round. This is so we'll just save this in my other window. I'll refresh this. It will probably still look exactly the same, right? Right, so I call that one. So the idea is that so I think you have to miss the red ones, but I didn't, right? Or do you have to keep the red ones that land? But anyway, this will give you a bit of an idea about how to generate games, and how to generate playable games is not always in the complete remit of the system. It's not clear exactly when you lose lives, so what I would do is ask it a bit more about this here. So I do things like just ask it, clarify. I'll turn off deep seek. There's that deep search has accidentally appeared. So clarify when lives are lost. And how to win the game. Once one gear is collected, nothing else works. And what I probably should say is something like give some visual feedback when a life is lost. So a life decreases when a gear falls off the screen. There's no win condition, it continues forever. Right, oh, space catches a gear and then the X key should drop it. So I did not pick up on that. I don't. You probably did when you were watching this, but widen the drop zone. Okay, let's have one more round of this. I'm quite looking forward to seeing the kind of games you create as well here. Right, 3, 2, 1. Right, so if I push space, right, it's caught this red one, and now I have to align it with the slot. This is the bit I probably completely missed all this way through. So I pick this up and then I drop that in the slot. Right, so that makes more sense, even though I'm terrible at this. So I probably have to move this onto slow mode and all kinds of things. So yeah. So in terms of playability, the kind of things that I would want to think about would be just to slightly decrease the speed at the start of this game there, because you can't catch everything at the same time as well. Let's say there is a little bit of a more detail here. I probably want to make this funkifier slot a little bit bigger at the start to make it easier to win. Perhaps it gets smaller as we advance through the levels or something like that for this, but there is the basis of a retro styled simple game here with some quite rudimentary graphics, but it is something there that is playable. So this has given you some ideas about the kind of things you could do. As I say, we're just very quickly using Grok 3 to create a game. It's not really sophisticated. You could give better instructions, give it more guidance using your own expertise. The other thing to think about is you could just put this up on a web page. Other people could come to it and play it. They'd all have their local high score because actually it's running on their local computer. But at the same time, then your source code is completely unprotected because they could just open this up in the HTML file. But we're not doing this for large-scale commercial applications. So thank you for watching. I hope it's given you some ideas, and do share your progress and your games.